The ancient, rain-soaked forests of the Pacific Northwest have long held a secret. For the indigenous peoples, it was a known reality. For modern man, a campfire story dubbed Bigfoot. The dense canopy of old-growth fir and cedar creates a perpetual twilight, a world where sounds are muffled and shadows hold sway. It is into this primordial landscape that veteran cryptid researcher and wildlife biologist Dr. Russell Acord leads his teams, armed not with superstition, but with scientific instruments and a steadfast dedication to discovery. This latest expedition, initially framed as a study of regional predator-prey dynamics, would quickly spiral into an experience that would challenge everything Acord thought he knew. Over the course of a harrowing week, he and his team would document a cascade of evidence so profound, so multifaceted, that it points to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone in these woods, and the things that live there are watching us with an intelligence that is both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. The first tangible breakthrough came on the third day, in a secluded valley bisected by a gurgling creek. Where the forest floor transitioned to thick, alluvial mud, the ground told a story. There, preserved with stunning clarity, was a line of footprints. But these were not the tracks of a bear, often mistaken for something more. These were unequivocally humanoid, and they were massive. Measuring nearly 18 inches in length, the impressions showed a graceful rolling gait with a stride length that suggested a creature standing at least 8 to 9 feet tall. The weight of the being had caused deep compression in the soft earth, indicating a mass far exceeding that of any human. The anatomy was the true shocker, Acord would later recount, his voice still tinged with the excitement of the find. We observed clear toe definition, a robust heel, and, most significantly, a pronounced mid-tarsal break. This is a specific flex in the middle of the foot, a feature described in countless Sasquatch encounters but almost never documented in a clean cast. It's a piece of biological engineering not seen in this way in any other North American primate. This was our first Holy Grail moment. The team worked quickly, mixing dental-grade plaster to create perfect castings of several prints. In one, what appeared to be dermal ridges, the equivalent of fingerprints, were visible, a detail that would later send chills through the forensic analysts. If the footprints were the introduction, the next discovery was the chilling plot twist. Just yards away from the trackway, the team stumbled into a clearing that felt different. The air was still, heavy with a faint, metallic scent. Dr. Mireya, the team's forensic anthropologist, was the first to voice the unease. "This isn't a natural die-off site," she stated, her eyes scanning the ground. "This is a processing area." The site, which Acord would later term the kill zone, was a 30-foot diameter circle of forest floor littered with the skeletal remains of multiple large mammals, elk, deer, and possibly a black bear. The bones were picked clean, gleaming white against the dark earth. But unlike any typical predator kill, there were no signs of teeth marks, no gnawing, no bones shattered from marrow. "This was meticulous," Dr. Chen explained, holding up a deer femur. "The flesh and connective tissue have been stripped away with a precision that suggests the use of something other than just teeth. Almost like tools. The larger bones are arranged, not scattered. See how these scapulas are leaning against the base of this tree. And the smaller bones, the phalanges and ribs, are piled here, almost sorted. The presence of both sun-bleached, old bones and others with residual tissue tells us this isn't a one-time event. This location has been used for a very, very long time. It's ritualistic, or at the very least, highly systematic behavior." The trail of evidence, a breadcrumb trail of the bizarre, led them to an even more haunting location, an abandoned homestead, its roof caved in and timbers weathered to a silver gray. The structure stood as a mournful relic of human ambition, now reclaimed by the forest. It was here that the past and present collided. Inside, on the weathered floorboards, were fresh blood smears. "The coppery scent was still faint in the air," Acord said. "This was recent, within hours. We found rusted nails protruding from a beam. Perhaps something large had passed through and injured itself." The discovery shifted the team's mindset from investigators to potential interlopers in an active territory. This sense of a present, watching intelligence was confirmed by data from their thermal imaging equipment. Reviewing footage from a previous night, technical specialist Ronnie Patel had identified a staggering anomaly. It was a massive bipedal heat signature, moving parallel to a herd of elk, Patel described. It would stop, remain perfectly still, and then move again with a fluid, upright gait. It was stalking. Then, in a blink, it was just gone, vanished into the timber with a speed that defied its size. Bears don't move like that. Nothing we know of moves like that. Emboldened by the physical evidence, Acord made a decision that would define the expedition, a playback experiment. Using a high-powered speaker system, they broadcast a series of recorded Sasquatch vocalizations, deep, guttural whoops and growls collected from other historical encounters. The forest's response was immediate and terrifying. From the ridge to the north, a deep, resonant roar echoed back, a sound that vibrated in the chests of the team members. From the south, another series of higher-pitched, agitated calls answered. Then came the wood knocks, loud, percussive thwacks, as if a heavy branch were being pounded against a solid tree trunk. They came in sequences, a staccato rhythm that felt intentional, communicative. The air became charged, one team member wrote in his journal. You could feel the hostility. We were no longer just playing sounds. We were having a conversation, and it was escalating. It did escalate. From the darkness beyond their circle of light, rocks began to fly. They weren't aimed to hit, but to intimidate, landing with unnerving accuracy just feet from their equipment. Multiple team members reported the overwhelming sensation of being watched from all sides, a primal fear that gripped the spine. As full darkness enveloped them, their night vision and thermal scopes revealed the full extent of their predicament. We had at least 3 separate thermal signatures, Acord confirmed, reviewing the footage. They were moving with clear tactical awareness, using the terrain for cover. One would create a noise to our left, drawing our attention, while another would advance from the right. They were flanking us. They were demonstrating a level of coordinated intelligence that is, frankly, humbling and frightening. The team extracted themselves at first light, their data cards full and their minds reeling. The analysis has only just begun, but the preliminary findings are staggering. Audio analysis has revealed that some of the vocal responses contained infrasonic frequencies, sound waves below the range of human hearing known to induce feelings of dread and unease. Soil samples from the footprint site are being analyzed for unusual microbial communities or environmental DNA that could point to an unknown biological presence. For Dr. Russell Acord, the journey has fundamentally changed. This is no longer about proving a ghost story, he asserts, surrounded by maps, castings, and sample kits in his lab. This is a serious zoological and anthropological investigation. We are dealing with a non-human species of significant size, strength, and intelligence. It processes game in a way we don't understand. It communicates in complex ways. It understands territory and displays tactical behavior. The evidence is no longer just a footprint or a blurry photo. It's a cohesive narrative built from footprints, bone sites, vocalizations, thermal data, and direct, intelligent interaction. The team is now preparing for a follow-up expedition, equipped with drone surveillance, advanced motion-activated camera traps, and EDNA collection kits designed to capture genetic material from the air, water, and soil. But they return with a new humility. The dark, dense forests of the Pacific Northwest have yielded some of their secrets, but in doing so, they have revealed a deeper mystery. We share this continent with something ancient, something intelligent, and something that has chosen to remain in the shadows. Thanks to the work of researchers like Russell Acord, those shadows are finally beginning to give up their ghosts. The question is no longer if they exist, but what we do now that we know we are not the only masters of this wilderness.